Hello, fourth grade mathematicians. Mr. Carter right here, ready to do Homelink 3.8. Let's get going. Put your name on this if you haven't yet already. And let's begin. All right. So we have to fill in the blanks in the table below. So we have the first column here, number in words. We have a fraction column and then a decimal column. So if we look at the word here, 1/10, we know that the fraction for that is 1/10. And the decimal would be 0.1, because that's 1/10. 4/10 would look like this as a fraction, 4/10. The decimal for that would be 0.4. So we don't have the number in words here, but we do have the fraction. It's 8/10. So if I spell it out, it's 8-tenths. And the decimal for that would be 0.8. So here we don't have the words or the fraction, but we do have the decimal, 0.9. That's 9/10. That would look like this as a fraction, 9/10. And spelled out in words would be 9, N-I-N-E-tenths. Over here we have the fraction 2/10. So let's write that out in words, TWO tenths. The decimal for that would be 0.2. And the number in words here is 7/10. That would look like 7/10 and 0.7. All right, so our table is filled out. Let's look at number 2. It's asking you to name 2 ways you might see decimals used outside of school. So go ahead and try to think about that. Maybe get a help from an adult to figure out how you would use decimals outside of school, and I can't wait to see what you've come up with. So we have a number line here for numbers 3 through 6 that we need to look at and figure out where which decimal and fraction is represented by the M and the P. So since we've been talking about tenths, we're going to be thinking about this number line in tenths. So this label here, M, is about halfway between the 0 and the 1. So we know that half of 10 is 5. So that means it would be 5/10. So if we look at 3, it's asking us what decimal is represented by the tick mark labeled M. Well, the decimal would be 0.5 for 5/10, and the fraction that's represented by the tick mark labeled M would be 5/10. That would be the fraction. So if we're looking at P really close to 1, so that would be 9/10. So the decimal would be 0.9. The fraction for that would be 9/10. Okay, so let's look at our practice. We're looking at number 7. List all the factors of 100. So we have 1 and 100. Again, I like to spread them out and then fill in the middles here. So we ask ourselves, does 2 go into 100? And it sure does. So it would be 2 and 50. Does 3 go into 100? No, it does not. So we're going to skip 3. Does 4 go into 100? And that would be yes. And 4 times 25 would be 100. Does 5 go into 100? Absolutely. And that would be 5 and 20. Does 6 go into 100? No, that would not go into 100. How about 7? No. 8? No. 9? No. And 10? Yes, 10 times 10. So we don't need to write 10 twice. So now we know that we've started to repeat factors so that we're done. So that would be it. List all the factors of 100 that are prime. Well, 1 is a prime number. 2 is a prime number. 4 is not. 5 is a prime number. 10 is not. 20 is not. 25 is not because it has more than one factor pair. 50 is not, and neither is 100. So all our factors of 100 that are prime are 1, 2, and 5. Our factor pairs for 42, well, we start with the easy one, which is 1 and 42. Then we would have 2 because that's an even number, so we can split it in half. So 42 and a half is 21, so 2 and 21 would be a factor pair. 3 and 14 are also factor pairs, and 6 and 7. Okay, so that's it for right now. If you have any questions, please come and see me, and I'll talk to you later.